I was born in 1967. It's a long time ago for some of you younger folks. And when I was growing up in the south side of Houston, they called it South Park at the time, my life was governed by the instructions that was given to me by my parents. They told me things like, you have to stay out of the street, you have to be in before dark. Those laws, if you will, governed my childhood. My life sort of revolved around those instructions. Now, I want you to think with me for a minute. If my life, even as an adult, continued to be governed by the laws I was living under when I was a child, it would be evidence of what they call presently intellectual disability. When I was a child, they'd call you mentally retarded, but that's out of vogue now, right, to call somebody retarded. It's the idea that somewhere along the line, you mentally stopped progressing, and mentally you were still in adolescence when you physically were an adult. It's called intellectual disability. Well, I think that the Church of Jesus Christ presently is probably suffering from some intellectual disability. I don't want to use the unpopular term, but I think it probably applies. We're still being governed by what I think the people of God were governed by when we were in our childhood, and yet we are expected to live now in Christ in adulthood. Y'all are probably having a little bit of trouble following where I'm going with this, right? We're up to the book of Exodus, and we're beginning at chapter 15, and we've been looking at the redemptive history as it unfolds in the Old Testament. It's just sort of a picture of the people of God. But y'all have to keep in mind that when God said he would deliver Israel, he had already called them his own people. If you will, let me just sort of give you a visual to understand it. This is in a real way the birth of the people of God. It is the people of God in infancy. From chapter 19 through chapter 24, you're going to get the law of God being given to the people. Now, y'all need to understand this. They sin at Massa and Meribah and at Myra, but God never responds to their sin until after he gives them the law.